In this problem, we were first asked about the shape of the distribution. So this distribution is skewed, and it's skewed to the right. Whenever you have a skewed distribution, the typical value is always the median. For part C, you were asked 75% of the Lego sets contain more than blank pieces, and this here is associated with the quartiles. So let me just remind you about the quartiles. There's the first quartile, there's the third quartile, and then the second quartile is given a special name called the median. And what the quartiles do is divide your data into 25% chunks. So in each of these regions, you would find 25% of your data. And so in part C, when you're asked 75% of the Lego sets contain more than blank pieces, right here at Q1, you can see that 75% would be more than Q1. So the answer to that problem would be the value of Q1, or in other words, 174. Part D was asking you specifically about something called the 1.5 IQR criteria. And just as a reminder, this is a criteria for determining if a value is unusually large or unusually small. So the first thing we would have to do is find the IQR. Now remember, the IQR is simply the difference between Q3 and Q1 and was also given to you in this table. So let me just do a little bit of erasing so we can see what's under there. Okay, so we can see that the IQR is 484. But again, if we didn't know that, all we had to do was subtract Q3 and Q1, and that's how we get the IQR. Now we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it by 1.5. So that's going to be 1.5 times 484. And let's see what that is. So 1.5 times 484 is 726. Now we use that to find the location of what we call the fences. So there's a lower fence and an upper fence. Anything out here is an outlier, unusually high. Anything out here is an outlier, unusually low. Now how do you find the location of the fences? For the upper fence, you start at Q3 and you add on 1.5 IQRs. So we can see here that Q3 is 658, so we would have 658 plus, and we just found out that 1.5 IQRs is 726. And so if we take 658 and add 726, we get 1,384. So anything beyond 1,384 would be unusually high. And so here we can see that's well beyond our fence. And so the answer would be yes, it's an outlier. Why? Because it's beyond the upper fence. If you were looking for the lower fence, if you were trying to figure out, say, if this minimum here was unusually low, you would take Q1 and subtract 1.5 IQRs, and that would tell you the location of the lower fence.